That evening, her friend suddenly called. Unknown number. I let it ring twice. In the quiet of my car, the engine ticking as it cooled, the night felt heavier than it should have, like the air was holding its breath. I already knew something was wrong. I just didn't know how wrong. I answered. Silence at first. Breathing. Shallow. Unsteady. Then a whisper. She didn't mean for you to hear it like that. I closed my eyes. Images flickered. The party, the laughter, the way the room tilted when she said it. Reliable option. Like I was a piece of furniture she'd settled for. I thought you should know, the voice said, before it gets worse. Worse. That word landed and stayed. Headlights passed, a dog barked somewhere. Normal life. None of it reached me. What? I asked. Another pause. Longer this time. She's been lying to you, her friend said. For years. The call ended before I could respond. The screen went dark. I sat there, hands on the wheel, pulse steady, mind already rearranging the past, memories lining up. Smiling photos suddenly out of focus. I didn't feel anger, not yet. I felt clarity approaching, slow, inevitable, like a storm I'd been pretending not to see on the horizon. I drove home and walked into our house like nothing had happened. She was on the couch, legs tucked under her, scrolling. Looked up, smiled. The same smile that had fooled me for years. You left early, she said. I nodded, kissed her forehead, tasted familiarity, routine. Inside, something shifted. That night, I lay awake listening to her breathe, counting the seconds between inhales, wondering who else had memorized that rhythm. The next days unfolded quietly, painfully normal. Coffee, work, shared jokes, shared bed. But cracks started to show once I knew where to look. Her phone never left her side. Notifications turned off. A new password she hadn't mentioned. She started showering longer, dressing sharper, saying she had meetings that didn't exist on her calendar. I remembered the friend's voice, the hesitation, the guilt. Years. I replayed moments I'd dismissed. Late nights, missed calls, the way she'd sometimes look at me like she was measuring something and finding it lacking. I wanted to ask, to confront, to explode. I didn't. I waited, because denial is loud. Truth is quiet, and it was whispering everywhere. I became careful, observant, invisible. I checked phone records, not messages, numbers, patterns, repetition. One number stood out, always late, always brief. I followed her once, parked across the street, watched her walk into a cafe she claimed she hated. She didn't sit alone. I didn't go inside. I didn't need to. At night, I lay beside her scrolling through memories instead of photos, the times she'd been distant, the apologies that came too easily. I ordered a DNA test, not for a child, but for her words. Proof, even if it hurt. Evidence turns chaos into order. The results took days. During those days, she laughed more, touched me more, like she sensed the ground shifting and tried to stabilize it with affection. It almost worked. Almost. I practiced calm in the mirror, neutral expressions, steady voice. I rehearsed nothing aloud. Because I wasn't planning a fight, I was planning an ending. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Clear, clinical, unforgiving. Confirmed. Years of overlap. Dates, locations, a second life she'd curated with precision. A man she'd loved before me and never stopped. I printed everything. Paper feels more real. That evening, I set the documents on the kitchen table. Didn't sit, didn't speak. She noticed immediately. "What's this?" she asked. I slid the top page toward her. She read, froze, her face folded in on itself, hands trembling, breath catching. "I can explain," she said. I shook my head. "No," I replied. You can stop." Silence swallowed the room. For the first time, she looked small. I felt nothing. "I know about him," I said. "I know about the years. I know about the lies." She cried. Hard. Loud. Messy. I waited. "You called me reliable," I continued. "You were right." Her eyes snapped up. "I was reliable," I said. "Reliable enough to fund your freedom. Reliable enough to give you cover. Reliable enough to believe you." I slid a final envelope across the table. Divorce papers. Pre-signed, pre-planned. I already moved the money, I added. Separate accounts, legal, clean. She collapsed into a chair. "You don't get to choose now," I said. "That was your privilege. You spent it." I picked up my coat. She reached for me. I stepped back. That was the cruelest part. Not yelling, not vengeance. Distance. I left the house with nothing but my keys and my calm. Outside, the night felt lighter, like it had been waiting for me to stop lying to myself. I didn't look back. Not because it hurt, because it didn't matter. She lost more than a marriage that night. She lost the version of me that made betrayal safe, and I gained something colder, stronger, freedom without illusion. I was never her first choice, but I was the last mistake she ever made.